Well. Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome back to the Book Bar. We are so excited to have Miss Sylvia Hubbard here. This chat is long overdue. Well, for
Oh,
me anyway. So, oh my gosh, Sylvia, we go way back,
yeah.
way back to like Romance Slam Jam.
Oh
And
my God.
yeah, way back. And I have to just say this one thing. I have to tell you this one thing. You
Mhm,
know, you did a class at Romance Slam Jam, and it was about blogging.
mhm.
And I have to say that you were the one who gave me my tips and having me move
Oh,
forward ahead. So I want to thank you for that.
thank
Uh,
you.
yeah. And so you've been continuing to do that, and amongst other things. So, guys, welcome. Come on in. Hey, Miss Mama Tony. Miss Mama Tony is out there. Miss Myra is out there. You guys, thanks for joining us. So, welcome to the Book Bar. We are proud and excited to have Miss Sylvia Hubbard here. But before we're going to talk about her latest novel, but before we get into that, we're going to talk a little bit about her because this woman here is more than just an author. She's got a lot of things going on. So we're gonna have you tell us as much as you can about us. So tell us who Sylvia Hubbard is besides the author.
Oh, good Lord. So I would say, I'm a mother of three that I know of, and I was a struggling single mom for a while, and then I got, married. By that time the kids were out of the house, so that was a good thing.
Right?
Now I just got one child and it's a husband. But it's just awesome. Um, Good Lord, I'm a founder of Motown Writers Network, which is an organization where we help writers get to their literary goals and we connect readers to Michigan authors. I'm a speaker. I always call myself an encourager, sometimes a digital strategist. Weird people call me up all times of the night and say, "Hey, I need help with this."
Mhm.
And for some reason, I always know how to fix stuff, no matter what it is. So, yeah, I just all around, I guess, best friends to all the authors, and I've birthed over thousands and thousands. Some people say tens of thousands of books, just helping people, just be able to get out there. So I would call myself a literary doula too. So
Yeah. So
yeah.
the doula, I want to talk a little bit about that because when I first heard you that reference to you, I was like, doula, that's like a midwife or something like that. Like, okay, so dive into why you chose that name, or did you choose that name, or was that one chosen for you?
Well, someone said it to me one time,
Okay.
and it was so poignant. And I actually have helped women birth their babies before. I've been like a substitute dad. They'll call me in. I've done it for my littlest sisters. I've done it for like four friends, one my friend daughter. I've done it for a lot of people where I've helped them literally bring children in the world so good they thought these women were on drugs, and I had them so calm. And
Mhm.
then I was telling somebody about that, and they were like, "But you do help people birth their books, and you walk them through, and you make it less painful, and you give them all the tips and tricks to get and navigate." And so then I was like, okay, I'll put that on my resume. I am
Oh,
a literary doula too.
okay. Uh, so let's kind of double back to the Motown's writer network. So this is a full fledged whole thing that you founded this, and
It-
why was that necessary?
Well, back in 2000 in Detroit, we were going through a lot of things even back in 2000, and a lot of large organizations were leaving the city as rapidly as possible, which of course then took a lot of the education that you needed in order to publish your book. So, and then during that time, there were so many publishing scams and publishing predators going on. So many people were like still doing the old time way of, that's when digital marketing, digital publishing was first introduced in 2000. So the old time way is actually where you would go and you would find a printer for a self-publisher. You would find a printer, and the minimum amount of books you could print was 10,000. You had to print a minimum of 10,000 books, which means you are looking at a budget of at least a $25,000 to $50,000 budget. So once digital printing became, prevalent, that means you could only print one book at a time and you're good to go. That was a revolution.
Yeah, coming from
right. It took self-publishing from $50,000 to $500. And that's when crediting publishers would come in and say, oh, I'll do it. And people were being still taken advantage of. So with the education leaving, this new revolution coming in, and no one telling us about it and educating us about it, because Detroit is the largest African-American city in the United States. I would see people struggling and trying to find out, well, what is this all about? Well, as soon as somebody tell me, what is this about? Usually when somebody asks me to research something, and it'll be like, Sylvia, I don't know anything about it. I'll be like, well, I don't know anything about it, but I'll let you know in a second. And I'm like Neo, I know Kung Fu. Well, I know about self-publishing. I just download it down, and I'm like, I could teach it in about an hour. Give me a second. So I blame my daddy for that one. But I learned about it, and I just decided, instead of, letting others eat dirt, why don't I just go out and give that information away? Well, I didn't know people would blackball me for giving stuff away for free.
Oh, wow.
So I went through several years of being blackballed from events, from information, from opening doors for me, just because I will not charge for this information. If I got it free, then why should I make, I get my blessings however I get my blessings, in my opinion, but yeah, I got blackballed for a lot of things, and it was so funny. And then that's when, and also like 6 years later, that's when e-publishing hit. So 2006 is when Oprah came out with her favorite thing, which was a Kindle. Everybody wanted to know about Kindling and what it was, and no one. Back in 2001, a New York Times, and I still know her, a New York Times best-selling author, said, Sylvia, nobody will ever want an ebook. Nobody's not going to read an ebook off a device. No one will ever read an ebook off of a computer. And every time I see her face to face, I still give her this look. Just,
oh, wow.
So she told me to stop talking about it and stop pushing it. And I was like, well, I'm going to keep pushing it. And you can ask LaShonda. She would see me up in these little Yahoo groups talking about my little ebook.
Oh, wow.
I'd be like, y'all got to download my ebook. And everybody would look at me like I'm crazy. And TC Royal, she was like, girl, I love your spirit. I love your enthusiasm. She said, but everybody telling me to kick you out the group because all you do is talk about ebooks.
Okay, so, all right. So that was Kindle, but then, and I don't know if this was around the same time or before or after, but they had Smashwords. That was also
right. Smashwords came around, maybe I think it was 2007, 2008. It was Mark Coker had made this site, and oh my God, if you ever saw the original Smashwords site, it was horrible. But it started rolling in with CreateSpace. It was rolling in with CreateSpace and everything. And Mark Coker made it really easy and really fundamental for how you can get your book out there to other distributors. Because he's like, well, I can't conquer Amazon, but I can conquer everything else. So he built this awesome site, and I was on there, girl. I was on there like white on rice.
Yeah. Yeah.
loading my books up, trying to tell everybody else about it. And just, I was getting paid for speaking engagements just for talking about ebooks because nobody else was talking about it. And
Okay.
yeah, so that's how it all blew up. So I was creating this organization, making sure Michigan authors, especially us, got the education to publish books, and then just being asked everywhere else to come and speak and share the news about it. So, you know, I love talking. So give me a mic and I'm good to go.
Yes, so because amongst other things of being like a blogger, you're also a podcaster.
Right.
Oh my goodness, the list kind of goes on and on. With you because I've caught your, and I don't know if this is considered your podcast or just kind of like your little sweet treats you give, like on Sundays, like early afternoon. I would catch you live where you're out there just answering questions, random questions about anybody that has anything.
Yeah, I'll do like a ask me anything
Yeah.
every once in a while because the questions will get kind of repetitive. So I'll kind of like wait till they build up and say, okay, I'm answering everybody's question. And then some people even come up on the live and then just say, hey, what do you got here? So I'll do that randomly because it's a lot of stuff people want to know. And don't ask me how I know it. I just know it. I just,
Yeah,
it's a blessing and a curse. I'll tell you that.
well, it's a blessing to everybody else. Might be a curse to you because you're the one person that has all the information. So we have to come to you. But I knew that I wanted to give you or to share my platform with you to tell about you because you're like one of those ones who have all of this stuff in your head, and you're very busy too. As well, but you have a lot of knowledge, and so I want people to know that hey, if you got a quick question or if you're struggling to do something,
Oh yeah, ask
there's
away. I
somebody
don't
out there.
mind. Oh yeah, I will answer whatever questions they have because as God give it to you, you got to give it away. I want to get into heaven. I don't know about anybody else. I'm trying to get to the front of the line. I want him to see me in line and be like, you know what? Move out the way and let that girl go
Right.
on here.
Sylvia's coming through. I see her light. Let her through. Okay, so now you have a lot of books, but we're going to particularly talk about Delilah's Desire.
Right.
Okay, so now correct me if I'm wrong. This book started with Kindle Vellum.
It started with Kindle Vella. Originally Dag does appear in another book, which is
Okay.
Eve's Deception. So around the time Kindle Vella started, I was actually trying to struggle through the ending of the third arc of Eve's Deception. And I was like, I had mentioned her found family, but I didn't kind of get into it. And I was like, okay, let's just get Dag in there and F like everybody else up.
Okay.
just cause some type of, I didn't want to bring my usual cast of characters in to mess things up, but I was like, okay, Dag's been sitting in my brain and I'll be like, oh, okay, we ain't talking about you right now. I got things to do. So then when I was ending, what was it? I was ending her, I think it was her substitute house. No, I was ending She Works Hard for the Money, and Beck had took a lot of out me. And then I was like, okay, I still got a little bit of Beck and something else, just get on my nerves just enough that I gotta love them. And just a little bit kinky. You got to be a little bit more kinky.
Oh wow. Okay, because you're actually answering some of my other questions too. But go ahead.
So and then I was reading a lot of age gap books.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was going into like a dark romance, like legitimate dark romance, like not the real weird non-consensual, like I ain't give you permission to save my life, but I was going into that dark romance where, okay, yeah, it's good, but there's something not there. Some people are not exploring some parts of dark romance, and it's a big house when you go into the dark romance world. It's like a big house, and I was like, but no one talks about voyeurism. I was like,
No.
let's see. let's see. And then it was so funny because I was talking to a high school friend, and we had an adventure where we did a skip party, and she came and she took me to her boyfriend's house, and then they started getting on, and we was talking about that on the phone, and I was like, oh my God, like this is it. This, I know how we're gonna set this up.
Okay.
So it all, that's literally how it all worked into each other. I was like, okay, you can look, but you can't touch, and that'll be cool. And I was like, ooh. And then I started asking other guys. I was like, okay, so when you had a big brother or you had a good friend and you had a girl over, what did y'all do? And they'd be like, oh, they just went at it. I was like, y'all just sat and watched. And it's like, sometimes you just finished playing your game. And I was like, okay. So Dag had to be of the mindset, like, he don't care who watching.
Okay.
You want to watch? You want to learn?
But that wasn't Dag's original. That wasn't how he originally was. Or was he?
He wasn't. He was and he wasn't. He's always the brother. He was always the big brother. He was always to take charge. You know, I'm gonna do for my family whatever I have to do. And then, you know, once he met, you know, his baby mama, I guess I could call it.
Yeah, that's all she is, really, just the baby mama.
She messed him up, you know, and then that made him even more focused of, I'm going to take care of my family no matter what. I'm not going to let nobody else come, no other woman come between me and my family. And this is what I want. Mm-hmm. So that's how he was. And it was a struggle. It was always a struggle to write him, always to be in his head, because especially when it had to do with Delilah, you know, his conflicts of, I need to keep my family together. I would like to have a relationship with my son, but this knucklehead.
You know, okay. So Andre the son is a character. I'm telling you, so these characters that you have are they got some depth to them, but we've had this conversation with it because they are very unique. Like they don't follow the normal, you know, platform of like dark characters, romance characters. They like doing their own thing in this book. Like literally, like I wanted to know like how you this is coming to us in 3 books. And how you get to spend this much time with these characters when they seem like they're just off the rails, because Andre has got something going on. He's got this thing, and then you got the grandmother. You got the grandmother and her character, and then you learn a little bit about that, and then she kind of, it's a lot going on.
Right. So
and I'm trying to say this without saying this, and so I had a chat with my sleep partners, as we call each other, and it was called The Review and the Rebuttal. And so dark romance was on my head because, one, from reading your books, and also from reading Cheryl List. I mean, not Cheryl Lister, but Sherelle Green. And so she's hopping in there. Hey, Miss Cheryl. And so I was talking about this, but I couldn't get my words. It's so much going on in the book that I couldn't get my words right to kind of give them, to hook them on the book, right?
And and a lot of people say, Sylvia, you how do you wrangle like everybody in? Because everybody, and it's like going to a family reunion, because everybody doing their own crap, but you trying to save this couple. You're trying to put this couple together, but no matter what you do, something else obligates you. And I guess I have to compliment my own life for doing that, because it's like no matter what you try to do to make life work in this direction, some other thing just pops up like, okay, wait a minute. I'm trying to stay on this straight and narrow path. I would like to fall in love. I would like this man to love me, but you want me to do what?
Right.
boy, bye. And then it's like, okay, but if I do this for him and do this for him, then I could get back on path. So yes, it is a lot going on. Usually what I tell people, if it's too much, go back to Eve's deception, because you will find out what the grandmother was really doing, and the deceit, and just all the other crap that was going on. And then on top of that, a lot of these houses in Detroit, because somebody even told me that a lot of these houses did exist in Detroit. I don't know if anybody else had it in their city, but it was a lot of these houses where you could go in there and you wasn't pregnant no more when you walked out.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of these street doctors out there who were doing their own thing, which is what, Red's role is coming in, where she's like, okay, the grimoire was like, that's what she needed to find, was this huge grimoire. And that's another thing that was going
right.
That was another thing, but I needed her so Dad could understand the what Andre had really been doing, and everything that was really going on, and how everything was really going down. I usually have under everything a medical or chemical or scientific reason as to what is happening in the story. I think that's what makes my stories unique, is that yes, you are going to get an urban, yes, you're going to get a contemporary, yes, you're going to get some really dark romance and some awesome sex scenes.
Okay. We like that, but we have to understand those medical and clinical and chemical aspects of it.
And that's why Red was so significant in there, where she would come in and basically help Dag understand, because I always hate when I'm reading a book and then all of a sudden the character automatically knows, equations, or no math, or no science, and I'm like, how do they know that? You never said they knew anything. How does a florist know this? But it was a lot of going on stuff, and I really wanted people to.
Yeah. So this check comes from when we were on this we were on our chat from the the review and the rebuttal. So I was trying to. I knew I was going to be talking to you, one, and two, I didn't want to give too much from the book, because I didn't know people, if they had read it. So this is what they were saying. Like, I couldn't tell them. So they were like, oh no, we're not doing Delilah. So I said, okay, y'all come back on Monday when I'm talking to her, and then I'll be in my safe zone, because you'll stop me. Right.
But I really wanted people to understand trauma, number one, and how trauma affects us in our decisions, and how people can, especially if they know us, they know what trauma we've gone through, how they can literally take us and manipulate us around what we believe is true. And that was the basis of Delilah, is that she has been so traumatized that she don't even know which way is up. She don't know what brings her happiness. She doesn't know what brings her joy. She doesn't know how to stop pain. And she don't know her true gift is what she has inside of her. Okay. And so when Dad comes into her life, and Andre is kind of like the buffer. Andre is more or less the Band-Aid. She thinks that she needs Andre because he helps her with her gift. But some people can help you with your gift, but not bring it to fruition and stifle you. And that's one of the lessons that I wanted to bring out in Delilah, is that you can have people in your life who you think, oh, we've been down like 4 flat tires forever, and you make me feel like this, and you show me my gift and this, but sometimes they want to keep you at this level of your gift when you know your gift is up here. And that's what the true story of Delilah is. Stop letting these people hold you back when you feel that you still are not happy, because God would not have given you your gift as a burden. Mm-hmm. He gave you your gift to be happier than everybody else.
Yeah, but Would you say though that Andre really didn't understand the gift?
He didn't understand it. He didn't love her enough to understand it.
Yeah.
And once you love somebody enough, you understand that their gift needs to bloom and rise and glow. And even if it outshines you, it's still gonna make you love them more.
Right. Now, in this series, we got again, like we've already established there's a lot going on. So there's a couple things that could be considered like, kind of tropes or what's going on in there. So we got an age gap romance.
Right.
Okay, we got a love triangle.
Mm-hmm.
We got morally gray. We got a morally gray, I'll say hero, at least one of them, right?
Right.
We got emotional manipulation.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. You got family and not so family betrayal.
Yes.
That's with the grandmother, right?
Yes, and yes, and with Andre trying to get money out of his daddy.
Right. Yeah. And I don't think we have enough time tonight to talk about those cousins because that's a whole thing with them cousins. So I don't think I want to tap into that, but they're crucial to this storyline though, and Andre.
Right.
And then we got trauma, emotional healing. We got some steamy suspense and some steamy.
And then I would even add light speculative with her being able to shock people.
Yeah. So the scientific, so a little sci-fi going on in there too.
Right.
Now, out of all of those, what was your favorite to dive into when you were writing the series?
It would be the light speculative. It would be the energy that she produces. To explore it was amazing to know like what our human body is capable of. And once I knew Dad was an electrician, I was like, oh my God, I
saw that coming too. Once
we knew Dad was an electrician, I was like, oh my God, we are gonna rock his world, because I needed something to make him. He was so strong on family and family values and getting his family together and making a connection. I needed something that was going to make him turn away from what he have lifelong truly believed in. And that was the only thing I knew could drag Dag away to say, F them. This is good.
Yeah, because he would, I think Dag would have died just trying to make his family happy. And he was at that point after the Shaquika, whatever her name was, the baby mama. Yeah, what was her name? She had Shaquisha. Because I'm looking at the letters and I'm like, okay, I don't even know how to say that. But baby mama, she was baby mama. She did ruin him, but it was almost like if Delilah hadn't come into his life, he would have died an unhappy man. Just trying to make sure his family was happy.
And I think that made me so sad. And I think that made me so passionate about their romance, is knowing that if these two people do not get together, they're going to be two sad souls just walking around the earth. Like that's what made me like bring them together. And then every time they came together, it was like more passion, more love, more connection. And it drove me, like I was like up at night handwriting just hours and hours, just bare hand, because it was just pouring out of me, because I was like, I need these people to have love. I need my readers to see some love that's just unimaginable, that has to come together. So I'm sorry, I'm getting into it.
Right. No. That's great. Because you're doing a better job of telling the parts of the story than I was the other night. So this is good. Now, okay, with all of that, you have with the speculative aspects of it, and then the dark romance, the voyagism, and all of that in there. You still wasn't satisfied. You went and threw in some suspense. some suspense where like somebody could be getting killed, right?
Right.
That
I'm
like
from Detroit. I'm from
right.
Detroit. Somebody gotta die up in here. Let's
Okay.
somebody dying. I gotta live up to my city name and kill somebody, girl. What you
When I was reading that, so I've only tackled book 1 and book 2. And you left on cliffhangers, obviously, but I wasn't tripping too much because I know we got another one coming soon, I hope. But I said, now wait a minute, like she couldn't save all. She had all of this stuff in there. You didn't just put in the whole kitchen sink, and then she said, "Oh, this ain't enough. Let me go on over here and throw in some real suspense." I said she couldn't just say this for another book because I don't know if my heart can take all of this. But okay, so you got this suspense in here, and obviously the suspense element in this book, we probably would have had to go and get it from another book, I'm thinking, right?
Well, if at this point you have, if you are a reader of mine, you have met King Hart or know about King Hart in other books. He's this loan shark that don't take no for an answer, and when he wants something, he wants something.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "Now somebody gotta die." So King Hart, though, needs something from Dag that's very important because everybody wants me to do a King Hart book, but I can't bring King Hart book to life until he can come back to Detroit without getting killed, because there's a bigger monster than King Hart that lives in the city of Detroit. So I'm all the time working on the literary world of Sylvia Hubbard. So each book I think of mine connects 10 other books to it, and we could be all day. That'd be another sidebar story that, you know, read these books while you're waiting for part 3 because it'll just come in. It's kind of like the Marvel movies. Like, oh my God, do you see all these other side superheroes? Because when the ending comes, it's going to be even better. So yes, it's always a element of suspense going on because I don't know. I just do like to kill people. I do.
You know, she's fictionally, we must say that nowadays because we don't want the helicopters to be coming over your place.
They coming to Detroit, whatever.
Now, you know what? You might be right about that.
I don't even, I'd be like, ooh, I don't even know why I'm in Detroit, but I know y'all won't come here. So
okay, let's talk about Detroit because you know, every city, I'm in Chicago, Detroit, same thing. You know, we always got those negative umbrellas lurking around, right? But we have a lot of talented people that come out of these cities, you know. So, you know, yeah, you can say one thing about us, but you know, we got our things, right?
And that's another reason why I do call it Motown Writers Network, because Detroit has that Motown essence that you cannot get anywhere else.
Yeah.
People, the place is just the spirit of Detroit that floats throughout everything that's created from here. And when people say, you know, that's from Detroit, you know, that is something unique, something that you can't find anywhere else. So, yeah.
So, so we know that you, well, I'm going to ask this question, but I think I think we know. But anyway, how important is it for you to have Detroit in the backdrop of all of your stories? And two-part question, what is another place you would like to write about?
Well, I do sneak Chicago in occasionally because
I don't think that counts because we cousins, though. We cousins, so I don't think that counts.
I talk about the UP sometimes. Okay. And I talk about the other side of Michigan. I would like to delve into Atlanta, but there's just something about the South that irritates me. I know that's horrible to say, but Detroiters are bougie. I'm gonna tell you that. We are pretty bougie. So when people when we go somewhere and then somebody talks bad about us, we remember. And it's not just one Detroiter. When you talk about Detroit, you talking about the whole,
Yeah.
us as a whole. And we just like, ooh, that's why your mama stank. But okay, whatever. We just, that's whatever. You just don't got good taste, whatever. But like, I do want to do at least Atlanta or maybe Phoenix, but
Okay.
I can't go there to visit because y'all temperatures kill me.
And so you would have to, yeah. But you would either have to visit or you'd have to be really, really, really dive into some research.
Right. I'd have to do some research, and yeah, and it's just the heat. The heat, I can't stand the heat. It just, oh my God.
Yeah. So I see we got a couple of the Detroit.
Hi, Miss Cheryl.
We got Miss Tina in here. Hey y'all,
But
so
yeah,
okay,
Detroit is always a characteristic in mostly all my books. I think it's only one book that does not take place in Detroit, and that is Stone's Revenge. And it was a fictional city because I needed to create a serial killer. And I wasn't, I knew it was no serial killers in Detroit at the time. So I had to create a fictional city. So it was Davenport, Ohio. Okay. And I created there. But now that I know I can move that up here and create a serial killer, it will be a serial killer in Detroit. Oh, Lord.
Okay, so you said Phoenix and or Atlanta, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing abroad.
Nothing really abroad. There are a couple of books that I do have. It's Tanner's Devil. And Red is connected to Tanner. So they went abroad because she met a duke and then he had to fulfill one of his obligations. I think I did that. And then it was another book where I went abroad, and I've done some Canada. I did a Canada villa. I've done that. So, inside of the books, we do go somewhere else sometimes, but it always ends up back in Detroit.
Detroit. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair enough, I guess.
We don't even talk about Ohio. You're not a Buckeye in the house.
Oh my goodness. Well, we have to say fictional. We're talking all fictional because we don't. And now with the aging of this digital world, we got to make sure we are keeping it clean. But anyway, so research for you. So in particular, this Delilah's series, just this speculative element in there. What was your research like to bring that in there, and then also be able to understand it? So if a reader came to you and asked, like me, and asked you, what was that all about? What was your research like?
There we go.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Did you get a question?
No, we went somewhere. Okay. Everything froze up. So you said this was a speculative atmosphere?
So your research, like when you write books, and particularly the one with the speculative element in it, how do you do your research to the point where, number one, you can write about it and it be authentic, and two, when readers come to you and ask you about that element of the book, how in depth is your research?
It's pretty in depth. I get into it very much. If I can find someone who I can talk with about it, we get into it a lot. I'll ask the end up and I'll warn them, hey, I'm going to be talking to you about this, and this. And they're like, okay, yeah, people feel comfortable telling me their business. I have a very personable atmosphere about myself. So, but I get down into it, because I'm from the age of the encyclopedia children.
Mm-hmm.
So, we had to go find it, and then my dad would make us go and do a research paper on it. So if we asked a question, then we did a research. So that's how I am. If I ask a question and say, hey, what happens to a person who gets, hit by electricity, and what happens to the voltage in them? How do they function every day? And I have to know all these questions. I get into it a lot, and understand, and then if they have a job, say like as an electrician, or, as a street doctor, I need to know all the things that goes on. A lot of people don't know that it was a lot of street doctors that I had talked to. They do have that grimoire. They have their own little booklet that this is how they fix this. This is how they fix this. And it's kind of like a witch's spell book, but it's for things that they have done and how they've done it. And they keep this book with them all the time. Like this is their secret book. So I have to learn those things. I did one book where she had to pull a bullet out the guy, because it was another street doctor. Tanner was a street doctor. So I had to learn. I went on John Hopkins, and I was watching them literally do surgery on pulling a bullet out of people. In Beautiful, I had to do DNA splicing. So I had to learn how to splice DNA so she could talk about back and forth with her peers about her research. So I do get really deep in depth about everything, because like I said, I love science. I love a reality element about things. Everything has to make sense. Everything fits into a cog, and it has to make sense to me in order for me to write it so well.
Okay. And what drew you to this particular thing with this series?
Well, once I knew Dad was an electrician,
okay,
I had to find something. And first I was gonna do like a business deal. First I was like really into like, okay, maybe he can do a business deal. He does all this philanthropy and building stuff, and I could do it. And I was like, if business doesn't work for me, I usually go for the kink. And I was like, okay, let me go. And then actually a reader was talking to me, and she was like, if we could do electro play. And I was like, well, that sounds fun.
Yeah. I think about that.
Yeah, that sounds real fun. And so I started exploring about, what is the appeal, because I hate pain. I don't know about nobody else, but if something is happening and I'm having a good time and pain comes, that's it. We stop it. I'm getting out the bed and leaving.
Right.
So I was like, okay, what is the reasoning behind all of this? And that's what I wanted to explore in that book. So it has to be on levels, and they like it like this, and the heat comes, and a lot of people can produce heat out of their body. And I was like, okay,
yeah,
let's make it fun.
And it was interesting to see how Delilah was with Andre and how he adapted to her situation.
Right.
And then how she was able to go a step further with Dag, and also he had a different experience.
Right.
Because
it was all about the approach. It was all about the approach. And it's that I really wanted to bring out that fact that like it depends on how people treat you, on what kind of kindness that they get. What they can treat you like this, and you'll get them a tight smile. But then somebody comes in and, hey, how you doing, beautiful? You just look so good today, and you give them a bigger smile. So it all depends on the approach. And yes, like I said, this person can love you, but are they really loving you, or just using you, loving you to the point where they can use you? Whereas Dag was being unconditional about that love and bringing a lot more out of her.
Yeah, it's true that. Now, also with Dag, though, too, he has these brothers, and the series actually is called the
Windfall.
The Windfall brothers. And so right now we're just talking about Dag,
Right.
but will you eventually do the rest of the brothers,
Yes.
or?
Yes.
Okay.
Each brother will have their own particular love story, suspense, somebody dying, somebody falling in love, not necessarily in that order.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Because yeah, it not only you did you think that, you know, Derek was going to jump in there, because I have done poly before,
Uh-huh.
but because of what they have, I needed to separate that. And that's why I really wanted to present that issue with Dag is
Mhm.
is that, you know, the issue that Delilah had, because how can you separate them? What would make him turn away and want to, you know, F the family and want to just be with her? And I needed them to be separated in order to get that done. So I'm always working to make, I want everybody's life to be difficult because mine was. So
Well,
why should everybody else have all the fun?
I'm going to tell you, these characters, they do not have an easy walk, for sure. They do not have an easy walk. And for the reader, it's a tread lightly walk, like, you know what I mean? Like, but everything about it, like dark romance, has typically been considered taboo.
Mm-hmm.
But when we were chatting earlier this week, the reason I brought up the dark romance is because it's starting to become a little bit more prevalent with some authors. Like, a lot of authors are switching over to the independent publishing. So
Mm-hmm.
they've taken off the layers, and they're being their true authentic self with stories. And and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't think
I
about
just
this.
and I just would like to say, you know, if you decide to walk into the dark romance house, don't be peeking in the doors. If you gonna write dark romance, write dark romance. You know, we want to see. Don't give me three paragraphs and then the next morning she woke up sated. No, I want to know what happened in that bed. till,
Y'all are,
till
but
she
I think the readers too, that when they are getting it, and then though another question, I was talking to somebody else too about, the book and the books, and then also dark romance, because I'm like, okay, what's the difference between like dark romance and erotica? Because typically when you think of dark romance, you think of, this, out the box kind of, sex scenes and stuff like that. But what's the difference between
So
the
the
two?
difference is, and I can say this because I've been around, and Beverly Jenkins and I have gone in depth about discussing, you know, romance, like really in depth about it. So the difference is in the name. It says dark romance. That means it is going to be kinky and dark and everything, but it will end on a happily ever after.
Okay. And we
So in
talked.
erotica, though, it will be dark, it will be kinky, and we don't know where it might end. It could be, you know, erotic fiction plus women's fiction, you know, but it's no guarantee that it will be a HEA.
Okay. So that makes sense, because we talked about that too. Yes, Tina, we do want all the details.
I know.
If we're gonna dive in and open up a book and it says dark romance, we want all of that. We want.
Right.
Okay.
I truly believe these authors who are jumping in just to, you know, for money's sake, that, you know, you are doing a disservice to your readers when you do put dark romance on there, because number one, you ain't go in that room, you just peeked in that room. you just gave us a little bit of something and then said, okay, you just closed the door and then woke up the next morning. And then number two, you end in the book and you're not giving us a happily ever after or happily for now. You shortchanging the reader, and you're gonna make a lot of readers upset, and a lot of readers disjointed, because you're not doing what true dark romance should do. Go back and read a Virginia Henley or a Johanna Lindsay, where they bring it and then give us a HEA, you know.
Yeah.
And you should, if you tell me there is a polyamorous kink, I want to see an entire polyamorous love story going through that. That means, okay, I'm with him, then I'm with him, then I'm with him. And we all lived happily ever after.
Right. Okay, so I mean that makes sense, and I want to thank you for that because as a reader, when we're picking up books with different tropes and different genres, you kind of want to know what you're getting into. Like, okay, so how do I know if I'm satisfied if I don't know that a dark romance is supposed to have a happily ever after?
If
Okay,
it says the word romance, they better have a happy. And I think readers have a right to check authors on that.
Yeah.
If you have read a book and that author did not give you a HEA or happily for now, check them. Please check them and tell them I said so. Blame it on me. I don't care. But we need to keep the standards where they are because that helps the reader find those books better.
Yeah. Okay, and I agree with that. And then if I want to venture into the world of erotica, now we all said this, erotica is one thing we like, the kink and everything of the erotica, the steaminess, but we have to have a story behind it. For one, I don't want to just read pages and pages of somebody getting it on. I want to know why they're getting it on. Why do they feel it's taboo? Why do they feel like they need to be in this type of relationship? What works for them? And then
I agree.
But then don't expect, from what you're saying, don't expect a happily ever after necessarily.
Right.
But it could not be.
And I think with erotica, it's just like when you create a villain. There should be meaning behind the madness when you create a villain. It shouldn't just be, I'm going to be evil just to be evil. There should be a meaning behind that madness. When you put erotica into the story, there should be meaning behind that sensuality, that sex, that kink. There, people don't just wake up and like to suck toes. People don't just be like, I think I want to suck toes. Something happened to make them want to really suck toes in order to get off.
So it's something harbored, where they always. Okay.
There should be. And I think in that erotica, I think the fun part of it is exploring it with another person. And I think that's what always made me mad about Shades of Gray, 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
Is that okay? You knew this man was kinky from the day you walked into his house with his red room. Why are you getting upset about it? If he said, if you want to leave, leave. Don't be arguing with him about his kink.
So you would say that one was, because that one was a very controversial series too.
It was.
Yeah.
It was controversial in the fact that, and it made a lot of people, especially in the BDSM community, mad because it was a lot of things that was not explored correctly. And then in the kink community, it was like, okay, it really didn't feel like he introduced the kink right, or she just wasted his time. She was just wasting his time. There was other people who would love to be his his partner or his.
But it sounded like he did have more than one, but for whatever reason, he stuck with her,
right,
for the long haul.
I don't know why, but okay. Christian, do you suffer? But I always think it should be a yin to a yang, and when somebody introduces their kink, or in my books, when somebody introduces their kink to you, you should be able to, a good partner can receive that kink, and it actually accentuates their sexuality. And that's what I like to bring out in my books. It's just, that's what they've been looking for all along. They just didn't know they needed it like that.
Right. But it also, trust has to be a factor too.
Yes.
Yeah.
It has to be. Trust has to be a big factor. And I love that. I love that about every kink that I decide to explore, is that I want to bring that. And I want to bring that comfortability out even in my readers. I want my readers to just read this and be like, you know what, maybe I should try something like this too.
Yeah.
That's how comfortable I want when you read the book. It's like, I haven't done enough in my lifetime.
I'm gonna put some of these covers up here. So you guys, I put the links in there for you to grab the entire series. Right now, 1 and 2 is available, and we're waiting on 3, right? Correct?
Yes, we are waiting on 3, and it will be the November 1st instead of
Okay.
October 1st. But I do have treats during the month of October. I will be announcing, like, if you have bought 1 and 2 and you send me the receipt, you will get the audiobook from me for free. And
Okay.
I'll make that available to my readers, that you will get the audiobook for free when you show me you have purchased 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to have the audiobook available November 1st as well. So you'll get that in your bundle. So,
Okay.
and
All right.
you'll get like the Eve's Deception link to it, so you can start reading that. And a couple of more treats will be available for people who do go ahead and get 1, 2, and 3 and show me you did it. And hey,
Okay.
I
So
appreciate you.
there you go with that. So I am I'm dipping into Eve's Deception because I thought I had read that, but I did not. So when I started reading it, there was some elements in there, and I felt like I should have known a little bit more about Dag. And I thought when you said it was Eve's Deception, I thought I read it, but because of the title. But when I started reading, and I realized I had not read that because
she's the sister. Yeah, she's the sister that you meet at the memorial service.
Right.
Right.
Which she was kind of vague in there, but that's why I said I thought I read it, but I hadn't.
I just have to warn people that it is a church book, but it ain't a churchy book. So don't be looking for the Lord up in there.
Y'all look, so we have clearly exposed Sylvia. So you have to read the book to really understand titles, and I'm not a I do read synopsis sometimes, but if it's an author that I know, or if somebody has already, told me about a book, I'll bypass the synopsis and I'll go kind of straight into the book. But then after I finish, I'll go back to the synopsis to see if that was what I had in there. So we know that a great question here. We have a great question. Well, Miss JB, that is very generous. We don't get that too often, so that is generous. But this is a great question too. Thank you, Tina, because I was going to ask that too. So who's narrating the audiobook? Well,
currently, right now, we do have it as an AI narrative, because it's a big cost when we try to do somebody to do it, because that book is huge. I think it came up to like about $2,500 when we finished the cost of it. And we were like, my husband was like, 25. Oh, I could do it for 15. And I was like, and he went into his office, and in like less than an hour, he had narrated both of the books.
Okay.
So it's nice to have a software developer as a husband, because he went into 11 Labs and actually was able to pull down their voices and then just have a narrator go in and do it. So
okay. So have you listened to it?
I have listened to it. I'll send you the link, girl. I'll send you.
Okay. Yeah, because I want to know what that's like. Well, I mean, and I guess it's not like cheating because it's you doing it.
Yeah, he basically went in and coded it himself, and I had to go in and do the opening and closing, and then he went in and coded that. So it's a big thing, and I understand why 11 Labs charges so much, because it's like 100. My husband charges like 175 to 300 an hour, so I can see why they charge so much to code it. I know, girl, I might keep him.
Look, I'm saying, yeah, you should, because wow.
So yeah, he just went in and he did it for me. And then, so now he's waiting for book 3 so he can just go in and finish it up. So I'm pretty excited about it. So yes, it will be an AI voice for now.
Generator.
Maybe later on we might do, a switch up. I would love to do a double audio, but when I get a nice publishing sponsor.
Well, I mean, let's see what it sounds like. I mean, maybe you might be on to something.
Yeah.
So
everybody all the test listeners, all the beta listeners who listened to it, they were really impressed by it. So I was like, oh, well, that's pretty good. He's doing other books for me. So a lot of my books that will be up on my website will have, when you buy directly from me, will start to have audio narration to it. So you can be able to download it as well on there. And then on my Ream and in my membership on my website, you'll be able to access those audio files as well. So
okay, that sounds good. Give me 1 second. I'm really, really sorry.
That's
I'm
all right.
You for one.
That's all right. I don't mind. I understand that, things happen. You guys in the chat can even ask me questions while we're waiting for her to come back. I don't think I missed anything. I'm trying to go back and see without clicking off my screen. Did I miss any questions that you guys had? And especially about the confusion part. Definitely. I hope no one is confused about it.
Okay, sorry.
No problem. Oh, will you do a period piece? I used to try to write history, but I can't remember when shoelaces are invented, let alone. So no, I've always wanted to do like maybe a back in time kind of piece, but then still it's that history element. And even though I enjoy research and I do love history, I let Beverly know she can keep it. she will keep that genre all to herself, because I gotta stay in contemporary times. But yeah, I don't think I'll be doing a period piece. I know that I will be doing another light speculative piece, but nothing in terms of a history going back in time or doing a historical romance like that. I don't think I did. I've tried when I was younger. And I would get so frustrated because I want to put stuff in there and I'd be like, okay, were corsets invented then? were shoes, what kind of shoes they were wearing? Because I have to see the people in order for me to write about it. So I was like, no, I probably will not be doing a history piece.
Okay. That was a good question, though, because I would wonder what it would look like, though, for you. So I would, guys, I really would go on and on and on. There's some other characters in this series that I really want to explore, but we may have to have Miss Sylvia back again, especially after the third book, so that we can not necessarily close out the series because there's going to be some more coming on, but just so she can catch us up to what's going on with these Windfall brothers.
Yeah, because after this, the next book in the thing is going to be Derek's book.
Yeah.
And then after that, it would be Siren. And that's the brother they don't talk about who's stuck in the basement. I think they kind of mentioned him at Xavier's house. Xavier will be book 4. And it'll more likely come out like at the end of December of next year because it's a Christmas story. So, but Derek's book is in the works right now. You can see a little bit about him and him losing the love of his life, but there's a twist to that.
Of course,
there's a twist to that. So
Hubbard's book.
I gotta do something. I gotta mess up somebody's world. Ain't nobody got peace with me.
I can't wait to the brothers. All of the brothers got something. I mean, they're something. You just kind of want to know every time you read a little bit of something about it. I think in book 2 we got Xavier, we got searing, and yeah, there's the whole basement thing that you gotta want to know what happened with him. We also want to know what kind of deal was Xavier that he did to get them in trouble and then get them out of trouble at the time.
The windfall deal.
Yeah,
and you can, if you want to know a little bit about a little bit about what happens in the deal, and how it all ruined people's lives. If you read Her Substitute Husband, His Brothers, you'll see that Zygmunt's brothers are affected by that deal that Xavier did. And I know that's like, oh my God.
Well, no, because when I read that part about it, the little clip about it, it was like, oh, the sins of a father is kind of what got them in trouble. All of them, really, but mostly Ziegler's. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I was like, okay, I'm peeping that. So I wanted you to, see it, make sure we were going to get some of that. And I knew it had to do with something that Xavier did too, because they mentioned it. So I figured you was going to bring us to it,
Yeah, it's all going to come all together. And I mean, it's a constant, it's kind of like a real world to me, because people do ask me, like a lot of readers do ask me, well, how do you keep up with everybody's business? It's like sitting at a family reunion and you be like, oh, I know what she did, and I know her baby daddy, and then his baby daddy did this, and blah, 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 blah. So it's kind of like I just sit there and be like, I think I'm gonna write about this because somebody needs to know about this. And yes, I do wake up and choose violence every day. I'm trying to make somebody's life miserable. And if I don't, then why am I even here? Why am I? But I have to say it's fiction.
Right, yes. We must say it's fiction. We don't want nobody to think you just over here ruining lives just on purpose.
Might
well,
not
you
be.
kind of are, but it's for a reason.
There's a meaning behind my madness. There is, I swear.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to leave you with the last words of what you want the readers to know. Do you have you have a newsletter? I'm going to put your link down in here too. So if they want to, go to the website and see what you got out there, or if they want to sign up for your newsletter to keep up with you.
So yes, always come over to my website at sylviahubbard.com and check it out. I'm always coming out with a book. I'm always writing a book, publishing a book, and marketing a book. Currently, right now, I am live writing a book called Her Substitute Husband, His Brothers. And you can actually come in and watch me write this book live. And yes, it is polyamorous. And we're writing it live. And then you can always follow me on social media at Sylvia Hubbard, which is right here. On all the social media is usually the same one. I'm the same person all over, Sylvia Hubbard 1. And definitely join my membership, so you can get a lot more bang for your buck once you join the membership. And you can get a lot more bang for your buck and really enjoy and get updated almost earlier than other people. So definitely.
Oh, that's always a plus. Well, again, guys, thank you for spending your Monday evening with us. I've been so excited. And again, like I told her earlier in the conversation, this conversation was long overdue. I've been wanting to talk to her for I don't know how long, but I'm glad that I have got her out there. And there are, like she said, there are some amazing authors in Detroit area. We got the mayor, Miss Beverly Jenkins, out there, but we have
yes.
Sylvia Hubbard. We have Eliza Mann is out there, which I am going to be talking to her sometime soon, I hope. We have oh my goodness, we have, of course, L. Wright.
L. Wright, yeah.
And who am I thinking of?
It's Kaylin Hunt and Kenya Moss. She writes thrillers.
Okay.
Then there's, oh my God, it's just so
Ebony
many.
Evans is out there. She's writing some books too. She has got a few books out there. So yeah, it's small town, but it's producing a lot of creativity out of there.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I'm glad to have you on so that you can share a little bit about what you're doing out there. And, hopefully we'll have some more Detroit authors on soon. I know I will be talking to Elle Wright in the beginning of the year for sure.
Oh, good.
I got to stay on Eliza because she's my next one. She's my next target.
Oh, she's awesome. She's a sweetheart.
So Miss
I'll
Sylvia,
tell her to get in touch with you so you guys can set something up.
oh, I've been in a little inbox there.
Okay.
I would just tell her to go ahead and finish writing it so she could come on. I've seen her chat before, so I know she's amazing, and I know she's gonna come with some educational stuff too about her journey. So
yeah, definitely.
So make sure you guys go to the website. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter and explore the website, and make sure you pick up Delilah's Desire Book 1 and Book 2 is available now. And give her a little bit of time, and then we're going to jump right into Book 3, and then we're going to go on from there. So and then she's giving you some books too on the website. You should be able to check out the books to see which books are before this one. Like you got Eve's Deception,
and then you can read Her Substitute Husband, His Boss. You can read Black's Innocence, where you'll find out about the lawyer who took care of all the deals.
Oh,
he has his own book. Yeah, Tyler.
Yeah, this guy's, listen, let me tell you, you got to get these books, because I could not really earlier when we were on the chat earlier today, just messing around talking about subject matters. I couldn't get all of this out because it's like a mouthful, so I couldn't
It is.
But I'm happy that you were able to recover my fumble.
No, it is a big world, and that's why I do call it the literary world of Sylvia Hubbard. It's because it is a big world. I even have this magnetic wall that has all the book titles on it, and all of them are there to just show me, like, okay, where am I at today? Who am I talking about today? Like, I have to constantly be reminded, but then I know my character, so that's how they're able to easily jump in and out of a story so well, is because it's kind of like, hey, you're like a cousin, okay, you're coming in today.
Oh, well, honey, listen, hats off to you, because I could not. Let me just say that. But anyway, thank you again for spending some time with me, and we're definitely going to have you back again sometime soon to kind of wrap up the series, okay? And
awesome.
Because I can't do it all by myself. I need you.
That is, I don't mind, girl. I don't mind. And Dag is so much fun, so we can talk about him all day.
All right. Well, guys, okay, thank you again for joining us and spending your evening with us. We're going to say good night, and remember, be kind to yourself and to others. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye.